Hello and welcome to your 2017 Spring SOL Writing Examiner Proctor Training. We're going to do this a little bit differently, but we'll get through it a little bit faster than normal. Normally we would have a sign-in sheet for this training. What I'm going to ask is that by the end of the day on Friday, preferably, once you've seen this video, come and I'll have this sheet up in my office. You can sign in. You're also going to have this attached to the email. This is the form that you need to print out and sign. Is your test security agreement. I know you guys have seen this before. So make sure that I have a copy of this and that you've checked the box for spring 2017. Things that we're going to talk about in this quick little training. We're going to look at the dates, if you haven't already got them, what to do on the day of testing, the role of the examiner versus the proctor, what happens in the exam room, rosters and attendance, seating for students, test tickets, reading the test verbatim, how to monitor students, how to answer student questions, what to do about irregularities, what to do when the test is over, and how we can all help each other. Here's our schedule for the day. So next week, we're going to have the multiple choice at the beginning of the week for most of our students on Monday and Tuesday through the regular English classes. On Wednesday, I know there's the band trip, but we'll also have makeups that day. Thursday and Friday, we're going to be doing the small group multiple choice, as well as any makeups that we still have standing. Next, the following week, March 13th through the 16th, we'll be doing the essay writing prompt, and that'll be through extended AM, PM sessions. More information on that to come, and makeups on the 17th. When you come in, if you are testing that day, you're going to come find me in my office. I'm going to pick up 3 bins. The first bin is going to be full of stuff. It's going to have your manual. It's going to have all of your rosters and test tickets. It's going to have your pencils, scratch paper, dictionaries, mints, the whole bit. Bin 2 will be empty. That's where you're going to put things when you're done with them. That's going to be the test tickets. It's going to be attendance. It's going to be all the scratch paper. You're also going to have folders for all these. So on the left side, when you return them, is the roster of any students who are absent. On the right side of the folder is going to be test tickets for everyone that was there and completed it. Third bin is going to be the cell phone jail. Hopefully students have gotten the message not to bring them. That's going to be part of the opening instructions, that if there are any devices, you need to collect them. I have sticky notes for them. Have the students turn them off, put a sticky note with the student's name on it, and keep the phone in jail. This is a form you're going to have to sign in. So really it's only one person per testing session. Whoever, usually that's going to be the classroom teacher, but we'll work that out as we go through. You come in the morning, you need to fill in this form, and I can walk you through that. But between 8 and 8:15 in the mornings of test days is when to come and find me and sign in and get all of your stuff. On the day of testing, you are going to have to sign that form. You have to bring back the same number of test tickets that you take. So that's your double check on my work to make sure that you have everything you need and that everything comes back to me. In terms of attendance, if you are testing 1st and 5th block, we're going to need to do regular daily attendance. If that's your class, that's nice and easy. Do it through Phoenix. If it's not your class, just pick up the white phone and let the main office know if anybody's missing. During other blocks, you're going to have a roster. If there's kids that aren't on that roster, please take a moment and check against the daily attendance email. If you have missing students, you can notify the main office or send the proctor to find them, but try to get the test going as quickly as possible. We'd rather get it going than be waiting on one student for whatever reason. I am also going to be doing morning announcements so that students know where to go, when to go, all that sort of thing. So we review the test schedule every day. Examiners and proctors. This is more for the short paper thing. Depending on the accommodations for the students, you're either going to, as you go through the instruction booklet, read the prompt to yourself, or if it's special, and I'll let you know ahead of time, read the writing prompt as I read it aloud. I will let you know if that applies to your particular session. Same thing with the checklist for writers. That's something that the students will have access to. You can ask them to read it to themselves. If it is a special read aloud instruction session, I will let you know, and you can read it aloud for them. Examiner manuals are pretty much the same as they ever have been. There's not a lot of major differences. One thing just to think about in terms of electronic devices, there are instructions specifically in there about clearing the work area, making sure all electronic devices, which includes cell phones, smartwatches, anything with a screen, tablets, whatever, all those need to be removed. Books also need to be removed, unless it's their reading book for afterwards. In terms of cheating, this is always a sticky issue. we can talk about that on a case-by-case basis, but in the instruction it says you must do your own work and not discuss the test at any time with anyone, including your classmates and teachers. So that's all right in the instructions for you. Students are going to get their test tickets. As it goes through the instructions, you've all read the script before, they need to sign their test ticket, and they'll have pencils for doing that. That's just one more double check that we have the right student taking the right test. In terms of monitoring students, the examiners and proctors must monitor the testing process by moving around the room. 2 adults in every block, so most likely it's going to be the classroom teacher and then someone else. Work that out. You don't both need to be pacing the entire time, but also you shouldn't both just be sitting up checking your email. Monitoring means monitoring. When there are bathroom requests, one of you needs to go. That needs to be the classroom teacher. If it's your students, your class, you need to be the one that's taking them to the restroom just for test security arrangements to keep your license safe. The security agreement is that the classroom teacher is not going to be the only person in the room. If you're short-staffed, if someone got pulled out, pick up the white phone. I'll get down to you. Someone will get to you as quickly as possible. Some frequently asked questions. Can I get on a computer? Yes. There used to be rules against this. Monitoring is the key. All right, so yes, if you need to check your email real quick, you need to work on something, fine. But sitting up in the front of the room, checking your email and your fantasy baseball team the whole time, that's not monitoring. In terms of staying in the room the entire time, like I said, if someone needs to go to the bathroom, if there's an emergency, one of the adults is going to need to go. Just make sure that it's not the subject area teacher that's the one staying in the room by themselves. In terms of answering student questions about how to navigate the test, there's very specific language. It's all in the manual. I'll make sure it's highlighted and marked for you. But it's very limited what we can say and do. The big thing to remember is never, ever, ever touch the mouse, the keyboard, the monitor. The students need to be doing that. We just don't want to put ourselves in that sort of situation. So you have all these scripted answers. You go back to a question, go forward. That's the operation of the test. So you can guide them through that. In terms of student content-related questions, we're very limited. We really need to stick to these scripted responses. They ask about a test item, read it carefully, choose the best answer. They ask about the writing prompt when we get to the essay part. Read the topic carefully and write a short paper about it. If they're stuck on how to use the tools, refer to the help icon, Life Preserver on the toolbar for help with the tool. We're very limited on those. We don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we're providing improper assistance. Testing irregularities. I'm not expecting you to memorize this whole thing, but really a testing irregularity is anything that could inappropriately influence student performance, inappropriately influence the reporting of performance, or the implementation of the testing itself. That could be a student that becomes ill. That could be someone getting on their cell phone. That could be, you or another teacher in the room giving improper assistance, accommodations not being met or followed, students being given accommodations that aren't in their IEP, or use your imagination. Really giving the wrong accommodation or not giving the accommodation is the single most common irregularity. I'm going to have all that marked out for you. It'll be very clear on your rosters who needs what and who gets what. At the end of the test, it's always very tempting to say, oh, look, you didn't answer that question. We can't do that. Student raised their hand, they're ready to submit the test. They hit that submit and exit test button. They have 3 options. I want to return to the test. I want to exit the test and finish later. I'm finished with the test and want to submit my final answers. We're not allowed to help them do any of that. We can prompt, we can point, we can say, are you ready to submit? That's it. Even tone, we need to be very careful with, that you're not implying that, are you really sure you want to submit? Stick to the script. Don't put yourself in a bad position. If a student is still testing towards the end of the block, let me know. Pick up the white phone. If you have a walkie, hop on the walkie. Depending on the situation, if it's 1 or 2 kids, if they're getting close to the end, we'll definitely let them stay. Research has shown that staying and finishing in the same location has better results. If there's a bunch of students, we'll work it out. I'm not going to lay out hard and fast rules because it really depends on which other classes have space and how we can move people around. So as you're getting towards the end of the period, 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, you really think you're going to have some kids not done, just let me know and we will take care of everything. When you're done, at the end of the day, bring the materials up to me, check them in. You got to sign in all your test tickets that you signed out, and either I or Sheila, when she's helping out, will verify the return of those materials. Ways we can help each other. We're going to have computer issues. It happens. Don't panic. If they get kicked out of TestNav, if they're out of the testing session, pick up the white phone. I'll be there. I'll help you out. Just don't panic. We never really lose any work. It's just a matter of pushing some buttons and making some phone calls. We'll get it taken care of. Just general words of advice and requests from you all. As we go through in this testing season, and again in May, please make every effort to be here. If you have an emergency and you know that you're on for proctoring or being an examiner, call me as early as possible. If there's a situation, just remain calm, be supportive of each other. This is really an all hands on deck thing. And I appreciate in advance your flexibility throughout all this. And that is it. Wrapped it up in 11 minutes and 22 seconds. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And we're good to go. Thanks.